What's up? This is Jake with Hike 734, and today I'm going to talk to you about what do I put in my backpack on overnight trips and multi-day trips. So when I'm putting together all this stuff, what I like to do is I like to try and compartmentalize and think about my kitchen, my bathroom, my bedroom, you know, those sorts of things, and that kind of helps break everything down. So I make sure, like, oh yeah, I need a bed, that kind of a thing. So I'm going to kind of approach it that way. So the first thing is we're going to talk about what I carry everything in, and right here I have just a Mountain Smith backpack that I use. It's a pretty simple design. It's one of those top loaders, big chute, not a whole lot of frills. I'm not a big fan of a million different pockets and all that kind of stuff. I've used the Osprey packs, like their Aether series, and you know, I like those packs. Just a big open chute where I can stuff everything in. It's more efficient, there's less material, so the pack can be lighter, and I like to organize stuff based upon me instead of having it tell me like, oh, well, here's this space, and then you try and cram it in and there's too much room or whatever. So, and then what I use for hydration is I'm a big fan of the Platypus reservoirs here. They don't have any taste, and you know, Camelback and Geiger Rig and a lot of those others, they just flavor the water, and I don't like it. So this is the one that I'm a huge fan of. I also bring with me an Nalgene bottle, and I don't actually have this full. And so that's kind of one of my problems that I think might be solved by a company called JetFlow. I'm playing around with their hydration and to see if that'll actually work. But if it does, then I'm just going to take this and not the Platypus. But for now, I just carry this empty, and then I take my Platypus while I'm hiking. I tend to drink more if I have just a hose handy there. So I also bring along with me, so this is where you ultralight guys are going to get like all railing on me, but I also bring one of these bottles because I am not very good at consuming enough calories when I hike, and so one of the ways I do that is I actually do liquid calories, and Hammer Nutrition, which is a local company here, but they're worldwide, awesome distribution, but they have Perpetuum products, and this is basically a powder that you mix in, and it's got a bunch of really good stuff for keeping you all, you know, calorized and whatnot when you're hiking. So I really like Perpetuum, and then when I get all done, I rinse this thing out, and then I fill it up with Recoverite, which is just kind of, you know, got like, I don't know, like glucosamine or something like that. Just a bunch of really great stuff to help your body recover after a big day of hiking, and especially for weekend warriors and stuff where you don't get out a whole lot, that really is helpful. And then for those people who get out all the time, you just need to keep doing that. Otherwise, you're going to end up, you know, running yourself out. So the other thing that I do is I filter water when you're in the backcountry. It's just a really good idea. You don't know what's upstream from you all the time. I have this Katadyn filter, and I'm kind of thinking about experimenting with a SteriPen this year, which is lighter. So if you've played around with different hydration or with different filter systems, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So, you know, please comment below and let me know what you think. But that's what I use when I first roll into camp. I make sure I filter water, and then I also rinse off. And when I rinse off, what I do is I use a handkerchief, just a cotton handkerchief, and this is just one really great piece of kit to have. It's old school and it's very useful. They dry out really fast. I mean, I rinse off and wipe down and all that kind of stuff, and then I go and just hang it up, and it dries really quick. Also, when you're camping in Glacier, there's a bunch of bear poles around and that sort of a thing, and so I carry all of my food in just a little outdoor research bag. And just get a lightweight bag that's durable, and then what I do is I take rope. You need 25 feet of rope, and I have a couple of carabiners, and I use one to hang my pack and one to go ahead and hang these. But when they say hang your bag in Glacier Park or hang your food bag, you need to have a separate bag because those poles aren't made for an entire, you know, 20-pound, 30-pound, 40-pound pack, and I see people do that. Not good. So just take out your food and you know, stuff that's going to smell like food, throw it in here, throw this over, cinch it up, and you're good to go. And I also take another bag that's going to go ahead and carry a lot of just the random essentials kind of stuff. And so for my kitchen, I just have this. I have a titanium pot. You know, for a long time I just used a little stainless steel one, and I have just a MSR pocket rocket and just some ISOPRO fuel. And then I only carry with me a spoon. And even when I'm hiking with a couple of people, like my wife and stuff, we each have our spoon, and then we each have our backpacker's pantry or some other freeze-dried sort of a deal. If you can't afford this, one thing you can do is get a freezer Ziploc bag, and then you can put your ramen noodles or whatever you do, and then you can rehydrate that inside of there. Just make sure your water's not super hot, but it can be just like a rolling boil, especially alpine, and then pour it in there, and then seal it, and then go do some other stuff and come back, and then you can go and eat out of here. But then there's no mess to clean up. You go ahead and haul everything out with you, and I just like it because then I know that I'm not taking a bunch of little particles and leave them in the park or anything. While I'm also on the trail, some other bars that I like. I mean, if it's just a day trip, sometimes I'll bring with me red bell peppers or something like that, and sandwiches, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I'll eat things like this Pro Bar, or like a Hammer Nutrition bar is oftentimes what I'll go ahead and take with me. These are kind of a little bit more like Lara bars, so just kind of switching things up because it's easy to get old, easy for stuff to start tasting blah. And also in the morning, I like to start off with some coffee, and I always take Starbucks Via. It's awesome. If you need sugar in your coffee, get the iced coffee and just drink it hot. If you don't, and you're just a cowboy and you like it black, just get the smaller packets. But that way you're not messing around with stuff that's going to get all sticky. Kind of moving on into a little bit more of the emergency and bathroom and what have you stuff is, here we go. We got some toilet paper. Bring toilet paper because it's not supplied in the backcountry. And then also always bring Purell or some other type of hand sanitizer because you don't want to pass anything off to your, I think that's actually more important than filtering the water is hand sanitizer because that's how you're going to get your fellow campers or yourself sick. And then I also have a lighter, and sometimes if I'm doing, if I have to do a trail stop with the toilet paper, I will go ahead and just burn that toilet paper. Just make sure you don't set the forest on fire because that's stupid. I also have just kind of this a little assorted emergency bag of stuff. It's got like some, DEET bug spray. It's got some fire starter, it's got some duct tape, a whistle, some bandages, hand warmers, Tums, a few just random things like that that are just kind of for different types of emergencies. Always, always, always have a hat and have gloves. And this is not just a ball cap. This is a stocking cap. And these are gloves to keep your hands warm because weather changes frequently in the park and you need to be prepared. So even if it's the middle of summer, I've seen it change from one day be 90 degrees to a day or two later, snow on the ground. So it can just change in a hurry. So you want to be prepared for that. And also in that vein is definitely always have a rain jacket. Always have a rain jacket. Because once you get wet and cold, you can get in trouble fast. And then I also recommend rain pants. This is what I always like to have with me. I did some trips where I didn't have it, and then one time I got it rained forever, and I really wished I had those, and I brought it with me for the rest of the trip. Some other emergency stuff that I like to go ahead and have around with me is I also like to have a buff. I just started playing around with these, and I really like it. It's just a good all-purpose kind of a deal. And bear spray. Bear spray is awesome, not only for bears, but also for moose or any other kind of weird animal that's going to go ahead and come after you. You can just take care of that. And then also a headlamp. Headlamps are awesome just for around camp, but also for hiking. So I recommend making sure you get one that actually is going to be good for walking around. And I'm also kind of a technology guy, so I have a GPS and I have my spot device. These two things work, for making sure you're in the right place. And then also if you get in trouble, you can go ahead and press this. And so kind of for the bedroom house sort of a thing is I have a tent. I have this Black Diamond I've had for quite a while. I think now it's called the Highlight. I have the one before that. It's a single wall tent, silicone impregnated nylon, and it's awesome, but it's starting to leak on me after having it for like 6 or 7 years. So I'm going to be getting a new one. So if you have a tent that you absolutely love, let me know. But I kind of like to keep it around the 3 to 4 pound range. This is a Marmot Helium. I love, love, love my sleeping bag. Get a really good one. It will help. And then also I have a Big Agnes. This is the Rem Sleep Pad. and this thing is really light. This thing is a lot lighter than, say, a self-inflator. So to me, getting the right pad was important, and it took me 3 tries. Started with the Thermarest, and then I went to a Z-Rest and a few things. But anyways, I really love that guy. Quickly to some clothing. One of them is, I'll talk about my camp clothing first. And my camp clothing is actually... I carry 2 sets of clothes. I carry one for camp, and those are cleaner than the ones that I use for hiking. So when I wake up in the morning and it's time to tear down camp, and then I switch into my nasty hiking clothes and I hike nasty, and then when I get to camp, I go ahead and wipe down and I put on these. And that's basically just, I just have an extra set of underwear, a t-shirt, socks, and then I also have these fleece. These are climbing pants made by Black Diamond, and so they're a little bit heavier than just like tights. But they're not very thick. It's not like expedition weight or anything like that. So all this kind of stuff is next to skin. When you come into camp and wipe down, you will sleep better and you will be happy. I also have Crocs for my camp shoes. These also make really good creek crossing shoes. They're lighter than normal stream shoes and that kind of stuff, and they don't have straps to stay wet, so they dry really fast. They're really lightweight, and they protect your toes when you're crossing creeks. For when I'm hiking, I actually have Solomon trail runners. I'm not a hiking boot kind of a guy. I'm a trail runner guy. I've been hiking in Solomons now for like 10 years, and I really love them. But the big thing is you want to make sure you're wearing a shoe that fits your foot. And so I like trail runners because they don't give me blisters and that sort of thing. So make sure you have a good shoe to do that. Finally, I have this... I have just a down, some of them call it like a down sweater, but it's a lightweight down jacket. I use this actually as my pillow, so I take my stuff sack for my sleeping bag, put it in here, and then I have my pillow. But I use it obviously for just sitting around camp and keeping warm and stuff. And then for my actual hiking, I have another Polypro. This is just a Patagonia Polypro kind of a t-shirt, and then I'm kind of a merino wool underwear guy. And then also for my socks, I have 2 pairs of socks that I hike with. And then I have just this R1 pullover by Patagonia. I've had this thing forever. It lasts and is awesome. And then I also go ahead and use zip-off pants. This is one made by Mountain Hardwear as well. So anyways, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I guess one last thing is make sure you brush your teeth and floss. I carry both of those with me. Anyways, I'm Jake with Hike 734. Let me know what you think of this. If you're just watching this on YouTube, make sure you visit the blog on this because I will have this all listed out at the bottom. Anyways, I'm Jake with Hike 734. Thanks for watching.